the single just now.
Oh no! Son of a bitch.
You get your two?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and today we are going to take a look at a battle in the Zhao. It's been a while. Actually, since I played any of my Japanese cruisers, so this is actually why I decided to take out the Zhao. Now, not only did, when I was playing this evening, did I decide to take out the Zhao, but, also cruise around in the Ibuki, the Megami, and the Miyoko. Get back to my roots. These were the cruisers that, I was brought up on, I guess you could say. So just get back to these cruisers and enjoy them. I mean, the Japanese cruisers are amazing. They really are some great cruisers. It's true they don't necessarily, I mean, maybe not the Zhao, but the other cruisers don't necessarily do any one specific thing excellently, but they do a lot of different things very well indeed. So great cruisers to have. And I mean, the Zhao, I love the Zhao. Whether or not I like the Zhao more than the Hindenburg or the Hindenburg more than the Zhao, I couldn't really say. I think it's too hard to tell, but I mean, I enjoy playing both of these ships equally. It's, they're just spectacular. Anyway, in the Zhao, we are going to head over here to the west side of the map. Now, I mean, it's a tier 10 battle, obviously, right? So there's going to be a lot of large battleships, and this is where the Zhao really does excel, is with the fire potential of the Zhao, right? So I can just rain in high explosive on some, or hoping to anyway, rain in high explosives on some of these battleships and just burn them down to the ground. Well, to the bottom of the sea, I suppose, or to the water line, because I guess fire doesn't go underwater, right? But yeah, anyway. Burn them down to the waterline, and then they'll be gone, and that's what I'm hoping for. And the Zhao is capable of a whole crap ton of damage. I think the most damage I've ever done in a battle is about 203,000 damage, and I can't remember what ship that is in. Not 100% sure, but even at that, 203,000 damage, the Zhao is capable of a whole crap ton more damage than that in a single battle, that goes incredibly well. Now, the reason for this is not only the excellent guns. I mean, we've got pretty much an 80% chance of setting a fire in every salvo with Demolition Expert on. It might be higher, I'm not 100% sure, because there's 3 guns per turret. 120%. Anyway, we do have the best armor piercing damage of any of the cruisers currently in the game as they're set up now, so we have that going for us. But we also have some pretty kick-ass torpedoes, which can do a whole crap ton of damage. In fact, if a full health Yamato were to eat a full spread of torpedoes from a Zhao, that Yamato is going down. So there's that as well. I mean, in a really good game, this thing, I think, could easily do over 300,000 damage. We're not going to see that today, unfortunately. Oh god, I wish. But anyway, we do see a bit of damage dealt out here. So we're moving into the A zone now, right? You can see the majority of my team is over here at A. We do have some ships in at B who have managed to cap it, and we have some ships over at C who are contesting it as well. I'm going to try and get myself into B. We do see a number of destroyers out here, or a cruiser so far, the Moskva, right? So we need to keep the Moskva in mind. I mean, that Moskva can definitely dish out a bunch of damage as well, right? So we want to try to limit the broadsides we're going to present to the Moskva here, and then as well keep in mind the aircraft that are flying around. On my Zhao, I don't have anything special with the AA. I'm not too concerned about the AA as long as it's defensive enough for my ship itself. I'm cool with that. I focused everything I could on the main guns because that's where the damage is going to be dealt. So why not? We have this enemy Fletcher, I believe, just sort of sitting there right now, and actually it looked kind of like maybe it was transitioning between reverse and forward, so I put in a few shots. Enemy Moskva just went down, and then the last 2 shots there from the stern guns hit the Fletcher and do a bit of damage, which isn't too bad. We can see the Fletcher here again, so it doesn't look like he's physically taking any damage, so we know that the repair party has been used on cooldown. It's probably, not going to be gone for too long, because it's probably the first time the Fletcher had used it, so keep that in mind. But the Fletcher's on really low health now, so if we can just finish this destroyer off, that would be fantastic. I mean, there were 5 destroyers on the enemy team when we started off, and there's only 3 remaining, which is fantastic. And there we go, now there's 2 remaining, so the enemy Fletcher is gone, don't need to worry about that player anymore. We still have a good hold over B. You can see that we have a friendly destroyer moving in on C at this time, and the majority of the team we're still working over A, right? We do have some friendly ships up front, pretty ballsy cruiser there up front, trying to get into it. It's another Moskva here, trying to get in and cap the point. So I'm going to come in behind the Moskva as well. I mean, we've got a number of allied ships here around, so we should be in a good position to actually take this point and then push over to B, right? On these larger maps at tier 9 and 10, like the maps that are designed for tier 10 basically, they're really, really big maps. Really big maps. You do not want to chase people down, and this is why, you know, it's so important that you get into the habit of not chasing people down across, you know, halfway across the map or all the way down to the south or all the way into a corner. You know, really important you don't get into that habit, so that when you do get to the higher tiers and you start playing on these, you know, massive maps that we have at these tiers, you don't find yourself just totally out of position. Because even though I'm in a Zhao and, you know, this thing is really fast and, you know, it's pretty great, if I were to sail all the way to the south border down there, you know, it's going to take me a little while to actually get back into things and actually, you know, start effectively putting shots in. So really want to keep this in mind. We do see some enemy ships here off in the distance, and it does actually look like they are sailing away. I mean, obviously the Shuikaku here that we have and we're firing at is going to want to sail away and get as far away as possible, but we do also have the Tirpitz there as well that we're going to need to potentially deal with. The Tirpitz is also sailing away towards the south, and again, I'm not, you know, I don't want to chase these people down. Just a total waste of time. We can see the Tirpitz. I mean, there's the potential here to line up some torpedoes, but I'm trying to get in a little closer, obviously close that distance, and keep this island as cover, because I mean, I haven't taken basically any damage so far this battle, which is good for, you know, haven't taken any damage, but also I have all my hit points now. So if I do get in a situation that is quickly coming up where I might find myself, you know, presenting a broadside to a battleship, hopefully I'm going to have the hit points to be able to take those shots. I mean, yeah, there's not really going to be a way that I'm going to be able to avoid the broadside that I'm giving right now. You can see I'm in a channel. The only other way would be to turn into the Tirpitz and start chasing that player down, which is exactly what I don't want to do. So no problem. You know, I will take a bit of damage here, but hopefully we'll survive it. So shots come in, yeah, bit of damage there, but I survived, so that's fantastic. We can see my friendly Moskva here is under heavy air AA attack at this time. Does have some torpedoes incoming. I was hoping to be able to do a little more to save the player. I think I shot down about 5 planes, which isn't too bad. But at the very least, Moskva is still alive. We have a Des Moines off in the distance, so I'm trying to, you know, beat back this Des Moines, get this guy out. And if we do take a look at the min-map, we can see that the Tirpitz is, in fact, you know, really far away. So I'm not going to be going after the Tirpitz anymore. I'm already pointed towards B. It's time to move into B, right? Even though the Des Moines and the Tirpitz are still here, and the Des Moines actually is within my range as engaging my Moskva here, I'm not going to be chasing these guys down. I will continue to fire at the Des Moines as long as I have the shots, but not really a concern of mine, and unfortunate as well for my friendly Moskva there, right? Kind of throwing that guy under the bus, but you know, that player made made his own choice when he decided to ground himself in front of those enemy ships. So, you know, can't save everyone. Anyway, moving into B, because we have since lost B. Our hold over A, though, is pretty much guaranteed at this point in time, and especially now that we're moving into B, you know, I'll easily be able to swing back and defend A if needed. I mean, if that Tirpitz or Des Moines just tries to swing around, might be able to get in there and defend it, but again, it doesn't. If we look at the minimap, they're not really, that's not what they're going for, right? The Tirpitz is actually almost all the way down there to the J line, so pretty much out of the battle at this point in time. So we'll get into B and we'll see what we can do here. Now we do have, even though we can't really see them now, I know because we saw a few of them, that there are a lot of ships just beyond this island here. So I have high explosive loaded because I'm pretty sure that there's at least one destroyer here, Pretty sure there's a battleship in there as well, a Montana, and there might be another cruiser as well if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna just approach this pretty safely. I'm gonna try and spot one ship, and then the plan is to just launch torpedoes into the smoke, see what's there and see what I get. The meantime, you know, we are capping B as well, so this is fantastic. So there we go. We spot an Thotgor, I believe. So I fire off both spreads at the Thotgor. The Thotgor's in a reverse. So that's a little interesting. I do fire at the Thotgor, overlay the target though, and don't really do too much damage. You know, a few ricochets and whatnot. Anyway, though, torpedoes are on the way. We can see a number of shots coming out of the smoke here, right? So again, I'm pretty confident there are a number of ships here in the smoke, and that those torpedoes that are going in should be pretty good, hopefully. You can also see that I have some friendly torpedoes on the way in behind me. So hopefully those will also end up hitting something. So there we go, we end up getting 3 torpedo hits on the enemy Montana, which is fantastic. Didn't quite kill the Montana, but still 3 torpedo hits nonetheless. Now I was hoping for more from those torpedoes, but I'll take the 3 torpedo hits. Whatever, enemy Montana is almost gone, but now we can see a lot of enemies scurrying around in here, right? We still have the Thotgor, which is right there, so just a few final shots into that guy and that player will be gone. There we go, so it's 2 kills, and now I do get a little confused with what I should be firing at. Now, I really should be firing at the destroyers, but instead I just see the Montana there, right, with such low hit points that it's like, no, I don't know, maybe just one salvo, one fire, and that player will be gone. We can see shots coming in from the Montana, which is a little tragic. Or so I thought. Luckily able to turn into those shots at the last minute and basically mitigate a lot of that damage. Enemy Montana goes down. One of my, I think it was my friendly aircraft carrier, came in with some dive bombers, so that's fantastic. Put some shots into the Fletcher, but the Fletcher, you know, gets away. We have the Kagero over here, so we put a few shots in the Kagero, managed to take this player down, so we're up to 3 kills now, which isn't too bad. We do see an enemy Zhao off in the distance, so that's a little concerning. A little concerning indeed. Player is in fact firing armor piercing at me as well. I've got my high explosive on the way out, but I'm considering, you know, changing over to the armor piercing, seeing what that does. We also have the Des Moines over there as well. The Des Moines did manage to get himself back into battle a little, and looks like he's taking a position potentially to defend C, if not, you know, obviously make a push into B, maybe grouping up with one of his allies that's remaining. The enemies are down to 4 ships, but we are down to 5, so still kind of touch and go here. I mean, the points, we do have a pretty good lead in points, but anything could happen at this time, right? Especially if we start losing a lot of ships very quickly. That would really suck. So turning around, we're going to try and keep ourselves in B. Now we see the enemy Zhao here pop up, right? We also see the enemy Fletcher, name escaped me for a minute, and the Des Moines. So I put in a shot of high explosive into the enemy Zhao, and I'm loading up armor piercing now. Queued up the old high explosive to get ready for the destroyer behind the enemy Zhao, hoping that I'm going to be able to take out this enemy Zhao in the process, earn myself a nice Confederate medal, so that's not too bad. Enemy Zhao takes a big hit there from one of my allies. I put some shots in, get a Citadel, and manage to finish off the enemy Zhao. Fantastic. We're up to 4 kills now, so that's not too bad. We still have this enemy Fletcher over here though as well, and I do still have armor piercing loaded in the barrels. It was just sort of chance that I kept the armor piercing as opposed to getting the high explosives in there right away. We're coming around the little island here, and we do, or rather I do expect to see the Des Moines. If you recall, the Des Moines was making its way into C, right? Potentially trying to group up with someone, wasn't sure who. We also still have the Fletcher about, so we need to keep this player in mind. So I'm going to keep the high explosive queued up, but I have the armor piercing in the barrels just in case. We see shots coming in, obviously that's going to be from the Des Moines, and there's the Des Moines right there. So fantastic, we're going to try and get the armor piercing into the side of the Des Moines here, maybe get a nice Citadel, hopefully anyway, and then load up with the high explosive in hopes that the enemy Fletcher pops up. There we go, 1 Citadel into the Des Moines, 10,000 damage on that one, so that's not too bad at all. Circling around, we do have our armor piercing queued up once again. There's the Fletcher, very low health, so just a few hits to this player and that guy will be gone. Shots are out. Blam, there we go. Fletcher gone, and I get myself a nice Kraken, so fantastic. Put some torpedoes out into the Des Moines in case the Des Moines decides to stop or go into reverse. Only use the one though. Load up the armor piercing, Des Moines turns back in for whatever reason, and shots go out, hoping that that was going to finish him off. Yeah, didn't really manage it, but still about 4,600 damage. Take a look at the points. We're at about 931 points, so battle is basically over. If we get one more kill, or if we just sail around for a few seconds, we will end up winning this. The Des Moines moves in behind the island, so there's no more shots that I can get out into the island. I'm going to try and get my guns around for the Tirpitz. No, Tirpitz is gone. One of my allies was all over that. 995 points. We've basically won this now. Wanted to try and finish off the Des Moines, obviously, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't in the cards, and doesn't really matter. I was still very pleased with the battle results anyway. So victory is ours, and we'll take a look at the final results as they come up here. Wasn't too bad of a game. We did see quite a bit of teamwork taking place. 553,000 credits. Kraken unleashed the Confederate. 140,000 damage done, which isn't too bad at all. And then in terms of team score, I am first overall with about 2,700 base experience, which isn't too bad at all. We can see how the damage breaks down here. You can see it was, I did spread the damage out over a lot of enemy ships, which, you know, resulted in the Confederate, obviously. Not really focused down any one ship. 337,000 credits is what I do end up walking away with when all is said and done, which is fantastic. And I was quite pleased. I mean, this was basically capped off the evening of playing Japanese cruisers for me, and I had a great evening. I mean, again, Japanese cruisers are really something else. I would highly recommend going up that line if you have not already. Anyway, that is the end of the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to leave any comments you have for me in the video comment section below. Love reading those and responding back to them. Remember to hit the old like button if you did like today's video. Remember to hit subscribe if you are not a subscriber. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.